74 pounds. We have a look at Nate Shirk there, and there's Alex Clemsen of Edinboro, a senior with 31 wins on the year. And he takes a couple of head slaps there. Does that really help?
Well, it helps somebody, but I'm not sure who it is. Maybe it wakes you up. Maybe it makes you a little woozy. I'm not real sure exactly.
Clemsen against Shirk at 174 pounds. And Edinboro on its way to another EWL Tournament Championship, their 5th in the row. Edinboro with a commanding lead here as we head down the stretch. Final 3 weight classifications. Clemsen ranked as high as number 7 in the country, coming to Edinboro from the Midwest. He's a native of Moberly, Missouri. 3-time national qualifier, but he's never won the Eastern Wrestling League Tournament Championship. He'll try and do that for the first time today.
Just a little bit of a feeling out process so far. I mean, during the year, obviously, these guys obviously wrestle in the dual meet. Close match, 2-1 that Clemsen won.
Not much action early here. Minute and 5 seconds in.
Well, they're both playing with those tie-ups a little bit. And one of the things that Clemsen does very well is he stays in pretty good position. When he's in those tie-ups, he's pushing on you. At the same time, he's kind of leaning back at the same time. So it's very difficult to get him to come forward. We got a little bit of a timeout again. Looks like for probably another blood issue. Little scrape.
And Clemsen gets an opportunity to get some words in with Tim Flynn, the head coach at Edinboro, talking about Clemsen. He lost in the finals last year to Ron Howard of Cleveland State. He redshirted during the 04-05 season. He was 2nd at the EWL. In 03-04, losing to Greg Jones of West Virginia, and he was 3rd as a freshman in 02-03. So he has a 2nd place finish, a 3rd place finish, and looking to win his weight classification for the first time this year as a senior.
Well, a lot of people lost to Greg Jones, Kyle.
Yes. Greg Jones never lost here at the EWL tournament. Neither did his brother, Bertus Jones. They both won 4 championships, 4 conference championships each, and just 2 of the 5 wrestlers all time that have done that in the EWL. But that's a story for another day, as we have Nate Shirk of Bloomsburg and Alex Clemsen of Edinboro squaring off here.
And both of them kind of staying pretty square in front of one another. Not a lot of movement in the sense of trying to get each other to move their feet. Both like to play up that tie up and see if they can get somebody stepping into them so they could post or pull a little bit. But sometimes with the styles match up, when that's both of your games, you both know what the other person's doing. You don't always fall for your own tricks very often, so it makes it a little bit of a, for lack of a better term, a stalemate in a lot of ways, because it's like playing chess against yourself in some ways.
35 seconds left in period number 1. As Clemsen in on a shot.
He gets that low single. Kyle is able to grab that foot, but Shirk does a nice job of getting pressure down on it very quickly, and he's able to straighten his leg back out. And that was the first real shot of the match, first real attempt, but it came with 25 seconds left in the first period. You know, and again, the thing you want to look at in a national tournament, you have to look at some things in terms of attack rates, and both these guys need to attack a little bit more than they are right now. 6 seconds left, and we're gonna wipe some blood off of each other again.
Another blood timeout for Shirk, who gets administered to. Bloomsburg coach John Stutzman in there as well, as he's instructing his wrestler. Stutzman in his 2nd year. And here comes Clemsen back out onto the match. And so they're still working on his shirt. Now they're going to tape that up. Clemsen, a solid season last year, but really never was 100% healthy. And feels much better this year heading into the national tournament, which will begin in a couple of weeks up in Michigan.
Hopefully the weather will be not as cold as it is right now.
Final few seconds here in period number 1. Scoreless between Shirk of Bloomsburg and Clemsen of Edinboro. Here's the updated standings. Edinboro with a commanding lead. West Virginia in second place. Lock Haven, Pitt, Bloomsburg. You have Cleveland State in there and Clarion in last place as we head into period number 2. Shirk starts the period on the bottom, gets out for the escape. So Shirk with the 1-0 lead on Clemsen. 10 seconds into period number 2.
And that's about the most intense action that we saw Shirk really explode off the mat and get up very quickly. One of the things, you don't want to spend a lot of time on the bottom because you do wear down a little bit that way. But get out and get on your feet as quick as you possibly can.
And Clemsen in on another low single leg. And he gets the first takedown of the match.
Well, this time he does a little bit better job of, just from a pressure and angle standpoint, Shirk's not able to counter quite as quickly. He's able to grab that other foot and get himself a 2-point takedown.
2-1 lead for Alex Clemsen. And Clemsen going to work on top. The ride time up around 30 seconds with 1 minute left here in the second period. There's the whistle. Clemsen with a second period takedown and a 2-1 lead.
And really, Kyle, it's a nice change of pace shot because they've been going those tie-ups and tie-ups and tie-ups, and he gets Shirk to step at him just a little bit, and he goes down real low, gets that single.
Shirk up to his feet, and they go out of bounds. So we'll start again with Shirk on the bottom. 54 seconds left in the period.
I'm sure Shirk would like a start like he had right in the beginning of the period where he's able to clear out pretty quickly. And but you can't start that fast.
Yes. A caution against Shirk. A restart with 54 seconds. Clemsen in position. Shirk tried to get up quickly. Clemsen grabbing that right ankle. Now Shirk up again, and Clemsen won't let him out. Shirk trying to pull him out of bounds, and he succeeds with 42 seconds left in the period.
Well, Clemsen's done a nice job of changing the start up a little bit. Went and grabbed the ankle that last time. Made Shirk change his stand up a little bit. Was able, Clemsen then able to, this time he grabs the other ankle. Changes it into a single leg. Shirk tried to just kick out and not able to do so. Clemsen just follows him out of bounds. And one of the challenges sometimes, Kyle, is a frustrating thing. You start to get up and off on your feet and you want to cut that thing off. Those guys shoot that single leg back at you and you spend 15, 20, 30 seconds fighting back out of a single leg. And you know you're wasting time the whole time.
30 seconds left in the period. Clemsen determined to stay on top here. Ride time up over a minute. Clemsen with a 2-1 lead. He's going to try and ride this second period out on top.
Well, and he really can't ride with his leg up there like that. He put about as much time as he could before probably getting called for stalling.
Final 5 seconds, and Clemsen will remain on top. Minute 27 in ride time, and here's the only takedown of this match so far.
Just that nice low single. Kyle gets his head in good position. Shirk's really not able to counter, get the weight down the way he wanted to, so he can get his foot back, and Clemsen finishes that one pretty easily for a takedown. 2-1
lead for Clemsen, who starts period 3 on the bottom, spins out for the escape point. So a 3-1 lead for Alex Clemsen, and again he has 1:23 in ride time accumulated. So Clemsen firmly in control with 1:45 to go in this match. And again, Shirk's going to need a couple of takedowns in the final 90 seconds or so.
Well, and Shirk really hasn't been able to mount much of an offense. Watch Clemsen, nice and compact, stays in that stance pretty well. Shirk being careful now not to go into him too fast, because that's how he shot those low singles. And see how important that is. You start changing levels on people. Now they don't know what to do. Now they're trying to find where you are. creates a lot of openings. And not only does it create openings for you offensively, but it makes it hard for them to try to attack you.
Clemsen with the lead, and there's a stalemate with 1:03 left. Alex Clemsen headed back to the NCAA tournament for the 4th time in his career, and perhaps for the first time as an EWL champion at 184 pounds. There's a nice shot by Clemsen as he stays on the aggressive despite this lead.
Well, a nice high single leg, and he went to kind of throw it forward there a little bit and went to pick it back up, but he just kicked out of it, and we got another blood timeout.
Nate Shirk back to the sidelines. Now his nose bleeding a little bit, and we got a headbutt. Accidental. Boom.
Well, you're going to have that.
Came up right up into him.
Probably happens, Kyle, probably about 5, 6, 7 times a match, really. In about every match, people go to shoot at the same time and smack heads.
So Shirk with his forehead taped up. He's got his nose packed. And what's worse, he's trailing in this matchup 3-1.
I don't think he'll care about any of that stuff, Kyle. If he can get himself a takedown and find a way. Now that riding time point becomes a point on the board, really, with under 20 seconds left in the period. But Clemsen just really not fazed by Shirk. Shirk has not had an opportunity to really score because he hasn't really created one. Hasn't made Clemsen move much. 8 seconds left in the match, and they started wrestling without the whistle.
And we'll tick off the final 5 seconds here. Alex Clemsen of Edinboro winning at the Eastern Wrestling League tournament for the first time in his career. Clemsen picks up his 116th career win. He's closing in on the top 10 all time at Edinboro. 3-time PSAC champ, and he wins at the Eastern Wrestling League for the first time in his career. So Alex Clemsen